Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to the Get Fit with Me, expanding your physical and mental fitness group. This group is for individuals who are ready to expand both their physical and mental fitness while helping and supporting others with similar goals all along the way. I'm super excited for today's call. In this group, we talk about three main areas: physical fitness, mental fitness, and nutrition. And today's topic is actually a tool that I use and that a lot of my clients use to help make their physical fitness, mental fitness, and nutrition much easier for them. I know we have a few other coaches that are jumping on today. So you guys can look at this from a perspective for yourself, or you can look at this as a perspective on how to teach your clients how to use this tool as well. So kind of you choose what lens you want to look from and learn from today. And I didn't think that I could use this tool for my own health. I thought I was using it only for business until I got into it and I realized I was missing a huge gap where it's so much better when I can just use one tool for everything. So before we jump into everything, I want to give a shout out to Danielle for inviting people into this group this week. The more people that jump into this group, the bigger support group and the bigger connection that we get with one another, and the more fun things you guys get to share with me of what you want to learn about. You're going to get the most out of these trainings by clicking that Zoom link right above on Facebook. I'm actually going to drop it right over there again. Perfect. Awesome. So click that little Zoom link, jump in the room. You're going to be able to ask questions. We're actually going to be going through the Google Calendar. So you're going to be able to see things a lot easier when you're here on the Zoom screen rather than having to like blow up your phone and do all those types of things. So click that Zoom link, jump on in. So let's do introductions. I like to know who is in the room. For those of you on Facebook, answer these questions as you follow along. I want to know who you are, where are you currently located, and do you use Google Calendar? And if not, do you use a calendar system of some sort? And if you do, what is it? Who would like to go first? And I'll call on people if nobody raises their hand. Shanti, you want to
go? Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Morgan.
Good morning.
I'm from Las Vegas, and what's the rest of the question?
Do you use Google Calendar, or do you use a calendar system of some sort currently?
Yeah, I use the calendar on my Mac, and that's why I'm here. I want to learn more about the system itself, because I mean I'm able to put events in and schedules like that, but I'm open to learning more about it.
Awesome. And I know Cherry, who is probably going to be watching on Facebook, she uses the Mac calendar as well. I really like Google Calendar because I can use it on my iPhone and I can use it on my PC. So it's very universal because I don't have a Mac. Whereas I think if you only have a Mac, like on your phone, I don't know how you access your calendar on your PC.
Well, actually, my calendar is Google.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you for being here. Yeah. Isabella, how about you? It's great seeing you like actually in Zoom and not just through voice memos.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So I'm Isabella. I'm in Virginia right now. And I'm a little bit old school, so I have like a very physical calendar that I just write everything on. But sometimes it can get confusing. So I'm really looking forward to kind of transitioning to Google Calendar, and I just don't know anything about it. So I'm ready to learn.
Awesome. And whiteboard, is that the only type of like physical calendar you use, or do you use like a schedule or like a day planner that you take with you places?
I set reminders on my phone, but for the most part, just that calendar.
Perfect. Well, thank you. Molly, how about you? I see you just jumped on. We're just doing who you are, where you're from, and do you use Google Calendar or do you use a calendar system of any sort?
So yes, I'm Molly Aaron, and I live just north of Atlanta. And yeah, I use Google Calendars all the time. Like we plan, my business is on there, and all my husband's traveling is on there, and the kids stuff is on there. But I could always learn more and see maybe there's tips and tricks that I'm not using.
Awesome. And how long have you used it for?
Oh gosh, I don't know, like 7 or 8 years.
Okay. So you're pretty familiar with it. So it's more you and you'll probably know most of the things that we talk about today. But so if there's anything that I miss and you're like, hey, I know this little thing, feel free to shoot it in there. Because there's
Okay.
still things I'm learning. And there's also things that I've learned that I'm like, oh, I did not learn this till just last week. So
Yeah.
feel free to input anything that you find that would be a benefit to anybody else.
Okay.
And Danielle, are you able to talk?
Yeah, sorry, I'm eating my lunch, which is why my camera's off. But hi, I'm Danielle. I am from Florida, Tampa, Florida, and I use Google Calendar for everything. So yes.
Awesome. Well, I am excited, and we have Ashley in Facebook listening in the background, but tuning in from Atlanta, Georgia. I swapped from iOS to Google Calendar this year, and it's a lifesaver, especially working with Calendly. I always say that incorrectly, which is really nice for, I know a handful of us here are business owners. So being able to have systems that integrate with your current calendar system is really nice. So awesome. I am excited. Today, the reason I'm teaching you guys this is my group is to help you increase your physical fitness, your mental fitness, and your nutrition. And so often I was finding that my clients and myself included, we weren't scheduling our workouts. We weren't putting the time we're going to meal prep. We weren't using a calendar to put those daily life things that we need. Sometimes we need to put on the calendar, eat lunch. I have people that forget to eat lunch if they don't put it on, or is like, I need to make my lunch in the morning, or I need to do my workout. So back in like 2015, when I was in school, I was using the Passion Planner. I love pen and paper planner. It is the best pen and paper planner I have ever found. So Isabella, if you want to stick with pen and paper, Passion Planner is a fantastic one. The only reason I really switched is I became a trainer and my clients' schedules were moving around. When I was seeing my clients was moving, and it became a mess. I had scratches, I had X's, I had the scribble marks, and my type A personality did not agree with that. It was not pretty enough and organized enough for my mind. So went to Google Calendar. Took me probably about a month to 2 months to get really comfortable with it. I really resisted it because I love the pen and paper, the physically writing it down. Got into Google Calendar. Finally, once I learned how to color code, how to create an event quickly, how to add my clients to the events that they get it on their calendar, made my life so much easier, and I will never turn back. So I'm going to teach you some of those. We're really just going to scratch the top level with some things today. And if there's a spot where you're like, can we go deeper into that? Please ask. There's a few ways that you can just raise your hand and I can ask a question. Or on the bottom, there's a reactions button. And if you click that, you can actually click raise hand and it will move you to the top of the screen. So you don't have to sit there with your hand raised the whole time. So feel free to use either one or just unmute yourself and talk. I'm also good with that because we do have a small group. So I am first going to share some pros and cons that I've found, and then I'm going to share screen. So pros, like I said, if you have an iPhone and you have a PC, you can use it literally on every single device. And as long as you know your Google login, you can log in from somebody else's device. You can log in from anywhere else. It's not just a one device application, which I love. Another thing is the color coding. I have color coding for my business. I have color coding for clients. I have color coding for personal, for my health. Like there's 8 different color codes, which leads me into my con. There's only 8 different colors that you can color code on. So you got to get a little creative and combine some things. The other thing is there is a learning curve. When you go from pen and paper to digital, just like any other application, there is going to be a learning curve. There's going to be that frustration. There's going to be that I just want to chuck my phone or my laptop across the wall. All this just went away. So just remember that with anything technology-wise, give yourself some grace with it, especially if you may be one of those non-tech savvy people. Like, just take your time with it. You're not going to master it in the first week. It took me 1 to 2 months to really master and get everything flowing how I wanted it to. Other pros are when you work with your clients or you're working with a friend or you're working out with a friend, you can invite them to the event. If they accept it, it will show up directly on their calendar. I do this for my clients. I do this for if I'm walking with a friend or I'm meeting with a friend, so that there's no discrepancies on when did we say we were going to meet. It's a very easy way to send that directly to them. And then really, I like that you can do tasks and events. So if you just have a task that you need to complete that day, you can kind of create your to-do list right in your calendar and check things off. So if you're trying to get rid of everything paper-wise, it's a really good way to add the task and use the events. I still use my notebook every single day for my tasks, but it is a tool that you can use depending on. Any questions before I share screen?
Nope.
You guys feel good? Okay. So you guys all look like you are on your computer, so you're all set. But if you're on Facebook, turn your phone sideways. You're going to be able to just see the share screen better rather than in that really tiny box that Facebook's going to show it to you on. So let's share screen. And we're first going to start by, how the heck do you find Google Calendar? So you are going to go to Google. If you do not have a Google Calendar, I think you have to have a Gmail account. Really simple, they're free. Set one of those up. But you're just going to go to Google and you want to make sure, I have 3 different emails. So you're going to want to make sure you're signed into the correct email. It's going to be your first thing. So I'm going to click on the email that I'm going to be showing you from today. Once you're logged in, you'll have your little bubble here. And you're going to just click on these little square dots. And that's going to be your Google applications. And when you scroll down, you'll find the calendar. Once you click on the calendar, it's then going to populate right here. I'm going to throw that over that way for me. So, and this is where I have that up for that reason, because it's a little bit slower today. So I have a few different things. This is the calendar I do not use. I do not use this calendar. This is my mock calendar to show you what originally when people start their Google Calendar looks like. Normally we put in everything in the same color. We don't know what is happening. It's really hard to read. It's really hard to understand when I have to be somewhere, what is happening, just because it's all that same color. This right here is my current calendar. Like I said, I have different colors for everything. All this blue is like my personal stuff. Gray is going to be like education stuff or like prepping for my day. Blue is when I work for somebody else. Pink is my stuff. And you can kind of see how there's a way to make meetings reoccurring. So picking that color system for you, if you know the majority of your day is like your business and your clients, pick the color that you want to look at the most. Because I did it the wrong way and I picked an ugly color to start and then I had to switch it all. So pick the color that you want as like your main focus, and then you can kind of change from there. So does everybody have a Gmail account, or do you know how to create that and do that portion? Okay, awesome. So now we are going to look at this. So there's a few different ways that you can set up your day. And I kind of just use the 9 to 5 job because it's just easier to put it in that way. So you could just put in your 9 to 5, you could put in your drive to work, your shower and your eat, your workouts. You could come and put every single meeting in. I prefer the meeting or the training gaps because I use this for work. And my day is not just 9 to 5. There's lots of things that are going on and moving through that 9 to 5 position. So this right here, we're going to make look prettier in the following week. So we're going to essentially schedule next week here. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to teach you how to create an event. And there's 2 ways you can do this. You can either click and drag for the length of time. And I find this is the fastest. And what will then happen is you'll pop up and you can type in, let's say here, workout. Type in a workout and you can change your color by coming down to your name. And when you click on that, it's going to expand and then you can choose one of these colors. make it consistent. If you're going to add your workouts to your calendar, or you're going to add meal planning, anything for your health, I want you to choose just one color. Don't do workouts in green, drinking water in orange. Like, keep those colors consistent. It's going to make it look a lot more appealing to your eye, and you're really going to understand how much time you've dedicated to yourself at the end of the week when you see that. Let's say you choose this light purple color and you only have one box on your calendar for the week. It's really easy to visually see, oh, I've only done 1 hour for myself this week, or wow, I've done an hour every single day for myself. So a few other things that you can do here is you can make it repeating so that every single week at the same time it shows up, and you'll click right under where it says Monday, September 5th, does not repeat. You'll click on that, and then a little drop down, you can go daily, weekly on Monday, you can go custom. So in that custom, you can choose how many weeks it repeats on what days. It can stop after so many occurrences. I use this for a client who buys 15 session packs at a time. I schedule her out for 15 weeks, and then it's only on the calendar for 15 weeks. So that's the reminder to me that she needs to re-up, or we have that conversation to re-up when I see her not on the calendar the following week. So as I am going through here, I don't do notifications. You can choose if you want a notification, which is down here, that little bell. 10 minutes before, 30 minutes before, hour, you can customize it. So if you have a really, or you want the notification for your workouts, for your meal planning, whatever you choose, feel free to put that on there. I usually turn that off, and that is I just click that little X, and then there's no notification. I had them all on at one point. That's really annoying to have them go off every single time you put something on your calendar. So unless you want the notifications, I don't suggest using them. And then, as you can see, I've integrated this with Zoom. So for any of you guys who use Zoom meetings, you can use the Make It a Zoom meeting, and it will auto-populate a Zoom link for them, which is awesome. So just a few things there. So I'm going to push save. That was the way of adding the event by dropping and dragging. The other way to add an event, which some people prefer, is going to be up here on this create button. And like I said, this is a business account. So when I click this, you can see out of office and appointment slots. Normally, you're only going to be able to see event and task. So just keep that in mind, that you're only going to be able to see event and task when you use this in your personal. So just click event, what it will do. And I don't like using the event because it just randomly populates on your screen. And then you have to come in, pick the date, figure out when you're going to do it. So to me, that is the more time consuming option. So drag or click and drag is the quicker. Same things apply though here. You can add a description, you can add a location. So if I wanted to do the Meijer by me, let's say I was going to go grocery shopping, I can put the exact location so that I know where I'm going to go. Another awesome thing is if I'm going to invite, let's say, a friend with me or my boyfriend, I can put his email in there and send him the invite to say, hey, we're going grocery shopping at this time at this grocery store. So it shows up on both calendars. And Molly, I assume you use this, do you use this feature to share your calendar, or are you guys all on one and you have access?
My family and I are all on one, and so we just, so I don't have to look at everything at the same time. I'll just click them on or off. But I use it for work, and I'll send things like that to my employees.
Perfect. Exactly. It's an awesome way to get that meeting on the books and to send them the invite without that extra step of, here's the email that I'm sending you with the day and the time. Like, it auto does it for you. It's awesome. Okay, so I think that is everything in there. So I'm going to save. It will ask you, if you invite somebody, it will say, would you like to send the invitation to the guest? You want to say yes, or what it's going to happen is you're going to put that email in there and they're not going to get the notification. So you're going to want to send that. And because this is work, they're going to say it's out of your organization. Yes, still send it. Still, you have to push through to make sure everybody still does it. So that's why you want to make sure emails are correct when you have it. So What questions do you guys have so far on creating events, reoccurring, color coding, anything like that? Isabella?
So I kind of goofed, and so I have my calendar connected to my personal email. And so like all my Zooms, all my like Calendly is connected personal, and I want to make it my business email, but I'm not sure if you can have more than one email on the same calendar.
Awesome question. So this is my personal. This is my personal Gmail account. I use it for that, partly because I did the same thing you did. I set everything up with my personal email, and I was like, well, we're just going to rock with it because that's just what it's going to happen. So over here, though, so you see where this says Morgan Ekovich? That is my that is my business email. So I can click this on and off. And let me see, I had a meeting last week, so you can see what that looks like. Okay, so right here on Wednesday, I wrote in meeting with Amy. If I click on my name, it's going to show busy. So the thing is, I can't see the details of what that is, but I can see that I've scheduled something on my other calendar and they can overlap with one another. So there is a way to do that. Honestly, I just rolled with my personal because I check it every day. I have people who like, my business email is so long that it's easier for me to just give them my personal Gmail. So I do business out of both, and that's why I've kept my calendar this way. But you can turn this on, add the calendar, and just toggle between it. So that's totally an option for you as well. Awesome question. Any others? Shanti, did you have something that you were thinking about? You are muted.
No, I'm just taking it all in, Morgan. Just taking it all in.
Okay, perfect. So when I was talking about tasks, this is another thing that you can toggle on and off. So anything over here on your left-hand side can be toggled on and off. When it's colored in, it means that's the calendar. If I were to undo this, I have nothing on my calendar. And that's always scary when you jump on and you realize everything's gone. So before you panic, make sure that you have your calendar turned on. So on Mondays, I do accountability check-ins with my clients. And right here is all of them. So if I scroll into next week, I've put them all in as a task that's reoccurring. And once I complete it, I mark as completed and it puts that line through it. So that's where if you guys have things such as pay quarterly taxes, like I have on my calendar, you can add it as an event or you can add it as a task. Either way, I like the task feature for some of that stuff. Just because if you don't actually complete it on the day that's on there, it actually moves to the next day. So it stays around and it moves with you until you actually complete it. And to do that, same thing. You can either, I'm gonna go back to this calendar just so it doesn't look so busy. When you drag down, you'll just push task. Task is going to default as one color is the thing. So you cannot change the color of your task. The tasks are going to be whatever color Google decides to make it. Check in clients. You can create a folder. There's a way to create multiple folders through here. So if you wanted to label your tasks, I don't use it that much that I just keep all the tasks the same thing. Then you can save. And then when I'm done, mark as complete, and it will put that line through it. OMG, the task feature for check-ins. Yes, it is awesome. Monday mornings are my check-ins. I put everybody's name in their check-ins, and then they get crossed off. I have a client who does that with her workouts. She actually puts her workouts in as a task and not an event so that she can see that she's completed it when the line goes through it. She's done the same when she meal preps. She's done the same when she drinks water. So whether you're using this for business, personal, or both, figuring out if the event or the task is the better option for you. And really let yourself play with it for a little bit. And if it doesn't work, try something else, but also give yourself time to learn it because it does take time to notice when things are working, when things are not working. Okay, there's a really cool feature I'm going to show you, and I'm going to show it to you on this calendar. So I send out monthly invoices. I still invoice my clients monthly, and I sometimes have to look for certain appointments. You click the search button and I type in Tina, she's one of my clients, and I click it. What that does, eventually, once it loads, so that's gonna bring her up on this sheet. But if I type in, let me see. So it brings up all the times that I see her within the last month. Which one was it? I think it's this. If you click on their email, you can search for things, and what it's going to do is it's going to bring up times and events that you've had things. So I typed in her email. She has all these, and I can go through and see all of these events that I have with her. The time, the place, same thing goes. If you have massages and you put in your massage, I can search massage, and anytime it has the word massage come in, it's going to show up on my calendar. So I love looking at that feature when I am trying to schedule my next massage. I don't want to backtrack through the week. So when was my last one? I just type in massage and I look for, well, my last one was yesterday. Okay, great. Well, my next one's next week. Like, I can see all of this in here. So it's so much easier than scrolling from week to week to week to week to try to find that one time you had that one appointment. As long as you remember how you labeled the event. Does that make sense? Any other questions so far? I don't want to bombard you guys with too much because I could talk about this for hours, like no joke. I love this stuff. Okay, so you guys know how I added that grocery shopping over here? So when I create the event and it shows up, it's going to show up as blue. But when I go over to my other calendar, the person I invited it to myself so you can see, it shows up as white, like it's not filled in. There's just an outline around it. What will happen is I then click on it and I have to accept the invitation for it to then turn that full color. So if you're ever looking at your calendar and you see a bunch of boxes with just the outline, but not the actual filled in, it's on your calendar, but you haven't told the person you've accepted it. So making sure that you click and you accept. So that's a really nice way for your clients and for you and anybody else who you're working with to kind of have that communication of, am I doing this thing with them or not? Okay, so now I'm going to kind of get into, I'm going to delete this because I don't want that on my calendar. That'll throw me off. So I've kind of taught you the basics here, how to create your event, how to create a task, how to color code, how to go reoccurring. I'm going to stop share here for a sec. How to cross something off. Anything else that you guys would like to know if Google Calendar does it, or things that you're like, I don't know, I haven't figured that out, or is that even an option? What types of things are coming to mind before I implement the next portion? Everyone feeling good? Do you feel like you can go start your own calendar now with confidence? You really can't mess it up, I'm going to be honest. As long as you don't keep pushing the delete button, you're good. Just make sure it's on there and you push save. Okay, so this training is to how to take control of your calendar so that you can take control of your health. Something that I highly encourage everybody to do, and I do this at the start of each year, is I create my year goals. If you have not created your year goals, don't wait till the beginning of the year. Start it now. Don't wait till 2022, 2023, like start it now. But at the start of each year, I think through, what is my end goal? How many workouts do I want to complete? Or what is my goal each week to get in? And by doing that, I schedule every single workout for my entire year right there at the start of the year. So each week I am not trying to fit my workout in. It's always on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. next week is. So I have my 3 workouts and I will move them in time as the week shows up. So next week it is a holiday on Monday. I know I won't be working out. So I just moved it to the next day. So I for sure am always going to get my workouts in because I put them on the calendar at the start of the year so that I know that I'm putting my time in before life and all the uncontrollables show up on my calendar. Same thing goes for my meal planning. At the start of the year, I pick what day and time I want to meal plan, when I want to make my grocery list, and when I want to go to the grocery store. And I put that on the calendar for reoccurring so that every single week it creates that consistency. If something comes up and Mondays are my day and I can't go because it's a holiday or it's Christmas Day, because I think Christmas falls on a Monday this year, I'll just swap it. I'll take a look at my calendar a week, 2 weeks in advance, and I just move it to the next day where I know it's going to happen. I never delete my workouts out of my calendar. I never delete one of my meal plans. I never delete my stretches, partly because at the end of each month, I do an audit on myself. I look back and I see what have I actually completed and what was not. And when it's in the calendar, it always gets completed. It may be 4 days in a row to try to make up those workouts. And that doesn't mean I'm strength training 4 days in a row. It may mean one of those workouts turned into a walk outside. It turned into a bike ride. But I still got the movement that I was intending to have for that month in, even if it ended up with that backing up at the end of the month. I didn't get rid of it. I didn't say, well, life got in the way. We're just not going to do it. So by scheduling them a year in advance as reoccurring so that every week I don't have to think, well, when's that workout going to happen? No, it's there. And I just have to say, well, does it work on that day? It does. Doesn't work at that 5 a.m. time. I shift it to the time that it works that day. Do you guys schedule your workouts? Do you schedule time to meal plan? Do you schedule time for yourself to like read, get a massage, see your therapist? What types of things do you schedule for yourself on whatever planner system you currently use?
I schedule workouts on there, and then I schedule my lunch break because I use Calendly also. So I put that in there so that nobody can book that time if I forget to click off of it. And then vacations and all my kids' stuff goes on there. I'm like you, I just use one calendar. That way everybody can just keep track of me with one email address.
Yes. And I like that you said vacations and family time. Anytime I'm having like wine night on Wednesdays with my girlfriend, I put that on. Like I put that on there for, may not be the exact block of time, but I put that on there and that is in blue. My massages are in blue. Anything fun that I get to go do, my family stuff, that is all in blue because it's a fun color. So also think about when you're choosing your color coding, the one you're going to see the most of should be the one you really like the most color. And then your most fun or favorite color should be that thing that you get to go out and do things. Isabella, do you schedule any of your workouts or personal time on your calendar?
I schedule workouts, but I pretty much do them at the same time every day. But personal time, no, and I need to get better at that.
And do you take personal time even though you don't schedule it?
I do. I always try to like end work at the same time every day. So then like the rest of the evening is free.
Okay. And what do you do during your personal time?
Sometimes I'll go for a walk. Most of the time I like watch TV or like listen to music to like de-stress. So
awesome. And I love that you have created that boundary of, yes, you may know Monday and Tuesday, you may not get done exactly at 5 when you want to, but you've created that boundary of, I'm going to be done at this certain time, and that your personal time comes right after. I like that because having that boundary between work and life helps with you controlling the rest of your life. If we let it all flow into one, it's really hard to separate once you've kind of let it all go into the same river.
exactly.
Shanti, how about you? Do you schedule any of your personal time, workouts, going to the grocery store, time with your wife, whatever that may be?
That would be a big zero. That's one of the things that intrigued me about coming here, because I need to be more organized. And I've just been I guess a fork in a river that flows where life takes me, you know, and trying to accomplish the things that I'm focusing on. It seems like, you know, I need more structure. So this is helpful. Let me ask you something, Morgan. Do you also plan your day the night before?
So yes and no. I plan my week on either Sunday nights or Monday mornings, right when I wake up. So I plan my week. And then the morning when I wake up, I grab my notebook, and you've probably seen me with my big notebook. I open it up and I write the day. So Wednesday, August 31st, and I write the things that I need to complete that day. And that is me prepping myself. That is when I have my cup of coffee, I'm sitting down, I'm looking at what are the things that have to happen today? Because I'm going to be honest, that list could go on forever and ever, and I could never stop working. But that's not the life that I want to build. So every morning, knowing what my big tasks are for the day, but knowing what things do I have to complete because it's a deadline, or by Friday it's a deadline, it's Thursday now. So every morning I really set myself up when I have coffee, and I bring myself into my day, and that's how I get myself really structured for what is ahead of me, rather than just kind of all over the place with no structure. Because if I don't sit down and I plan like that every morning, I don't even want to know what would or would not get done. The structure is very important for me.
That's great. That's wonderful.
Do you plan your day?
I plan it to the point where I know that there are a few things that I want, but you know, I used to have a Franklin day planner. Those things are just freaking awesome. But I got away from it, and I was able to put more of my thought into my days. But since I've moved away from it, I'm just like out there. So I mean, because every day I'm retired. So every day is Saturday and every night is Friday. And and so what I'm trying to do is I still have my intent that I'm doing. I'm finishing writing my book and creating my website and things on that level. So there's always that focus that's going on. But as far as zeroing in from 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock, things on that level, I'm not doing that. So, and I think this will help me to be more focused.
And knowing that you're working on your website and you're doing your book.
Right.
I have never done a book. I've done an ebook, but I've worked on my website, and I know more than 2 hours of working on that, I'm brain dead. So even just blocking on your calendar, when you know you hit that brain dead portion of writing or editing, just block. I'm only going to do an hour, and it's going to be the best hour towards that. And then you give yourself that break, because so often we also think I have to do this thing the entire time because it has to get completed.
Right.
If we don't give ourselves our breaks, we are not going to be awesome by the end. Same within our workouts. If we don't take our rests during our workouts and we just push through and we don't stop to rest in between sets, you're not going to be able to have the best workout, and you're not going to be able to perform your best.
Right.
It goes when you're writing.
Good advice. Yeah.
You'll end up with gibberish. That's usually what happens with me. I'm not a writer.
yeah, you're right. You know, because I feel like I'm just in an endless tunnel with no bottom to it. So, yeah, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And looking at the start of the week, how many hours do you want to dedicate towards the book? And then breaking it up into the days and the chunks when you want to do it. So that's also another way, if you know you have something really big that you have to break up, thinking of, I have 50 hours I have to dedicate. How do I have to break that up so I hit that deadline?
Wonderful. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. Awesome question.
Thank you.
And Danielle, how about you? Do you schedule personal time for yourself, for your workouts, or anything else that you are doing?
I do. I schedule my workouts every morning, so that's on the schedule. Personal time is kind of ebb and flow. I'm a mom of 3, and own my own business, so personal time is minimal except for my workouts. That's my me time, is my workout. So
I love it. And you probably multitask during your workouts by listening to something you enjoy sometimes, whether it's a podcast. So you kind of get to double dip when you do that.
That's true. Yeah, I'm definitely listening to like a preferred playlist when I'm working out. So I am, I guess, somewhat double dipping, but yeah, absolutely.
And I find moms, it's a really hard time. I have some clients, I was actually just talking to her yesterday. We were on a different call. She's in our accountability membership. And she was saying that she's really struggling with the consistency of like doing the 2 workouts that she planned every single week. And we've talked about this on how once the kids are up, things won't happen because the kids get to control everything. Like as much as you want to control, the kids just control whether you do the thing or you don't do the thing. And so she's committed to 5:45 a.m. workouts because she knows the kids aren't up and it can be her me time.
Yeah, that's exactly when I work out. I work out at 5 a.m. before the kids wake up. So I do my workout, get that out of the way. Then I wake the kids up, get them ready for school, and then start the day. So yeah, exactly.
Perfect. And honestly, I don't have kids and I still love getting up at 4:35 a.m. to have my
I
me
dread it. I am not a morning. I've become a morning person because I'm doing this, but I was not a morning person. Like I know, not a fan, but it's really the only time that I have to actually get a decent workout in before the kids get home from school. So it's just either do it then or not at all. So I've made a commitment and that's what I'm doing. So
I love it. Yeah, I've always been a morning person. I'd rather go to bed at 9 p.m. and get up like at 5 a.m. instead of staying up really late. Because I'm still up at 7, whether I go to bed at midnight or I go to bed at 2 a.m. I'm still up at the same time.
well, since I started doing this, I'm finding myself because my body's now learned, okay, when like 9:30, 10 o'clock hits, like I'm done. Like previously I was up later, but now I can't stay up past 10 o'clock because I'm just exhausted. Not happening.
And it's crazy how our bodies change when we start to implement these consistent routines of getting up for that 5 a.m. workout, to doing even that workout twice a week, to going to grocery store every Sunday afternoon. In the beginning, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not fun. And we dread it. But as soon as you get into the routine of it, like if I'm grocery shopping on my own, I throw my headphones in. I'm one of those people that like kind of like dance around the grocery store and like talk to myself, because I'm either listening to a podcast or I'm listening to good music, and it's me time. It's time to see what else is out there, to explore how I want to cook in the kitchen. And when I schedule it, I look forward to it rather than I have to go to the grocery store after work today. If I actually dedicate the time, I can actually put myself in a good state to want to do the thing rather than I have to do the thing. Does that make sense? Awesome. So Shanti, all of you, Shanti, Isabella, Molly, and Danielle. Danielle, I know you were saying how you already kind of have your personal time dedicated. You guys all kind of do in a sense. I want to challenge you to put just one personal thing on your calendar that's not already there this week. So even if it's just 5 minutes of getting outside away from people, put it on your calendar so that it actually happens. If you want to do something big, like go to a big event or go do something for yourself, absolutely put that on, but make it as minimal as 5 minutes. 5 minutes of go outside, stand in the sun. 5 minutes of shut your eyes and not listen to anything else in the world. Like figure out what you want to put on your calendar for yourself. Because if we can't start putting ourselves first on our calendar, we're never going to be able to. We're going to let all of the outside world and circumstances control. Well, great, I have a client now who wants to work out at 6 a.m. I have this that my mom wants me here then. I have this then. But if you put yourself on, you can say, no, you're gonna say, no, I already have something there. I can meet you a half hour later. You have the ability to say no up front and a reason. Whereas often when we don't have it on the calendar, we're really easy to say yes to everything and everyone. And ourselves are the most important people we should be saying yes to. And they're usually the people we say no to the easiest. No, I don't have time for that today. No, that didn't work. So I want you to think of just 5 minutes that you can put on your calendar in this next week, whether it's a digital calendar like you're using Google, or it's back to your pen and paper, whatever you're using, and just put 5 minutes on for yourself and lean into those 5 minutes and just be there with yourself. And it's fun. I like to do it. I like to break up my day when I have at least 20 minutes. I can do a quick walk around my block. We have a big block here. And that to me is like put in my podcast, see how fast I can walk in between meetings. for one, movement of my body, two, movement of my mind, gets me away from the computer. All of us at some point in our day are on this, we're on our computer, we're in front of something. And it's important to get out away from it and be in nature, just be away from that screen. And that personal time is a really good, 5 minutes is a really good time to just get away from it. Get away from all the screens that we look at all day, every day.
That's pretty awesome, Morgan, because what you're talking about is creating boundaries for yourself. And I think that's something that we're not taught. We're not taught to have me time. We're always in service to the world and to others that are around us. And I can see by what you're saying, it makes me reflect that that's how we become burnt out. We don't have boundaries for ourselves and have some me time.
Absolutely. If we, in this fall, I do a Commit to Your Health program, and it's all about committing to one thing during the holiday season. When the time of, I will tell you, if I don't do this or I'm not intentional about it, I don't put myself first from Thanksgiving to Christmas, because it is a runaround. And I know I'm not the only one that's trying to do all of the things in that 6 weeks that we have right before the start of the year. So there's certain things that I do to create that boundary. And the biggest thing is putting myself on the calendar first before other things can show up, and being okay and willing to say, no, that doesn't work for me, and choosing a different time. And that is a really hard skill to make easy. And it's still something I'm practicing. I'll do the raise my hand really quick and then pull it down and think about, do I actually have time for that? And do I want to do that? And creating that boundary so that you can put yourself and your health first and take control of yourself and your health.
Love it. I love that.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited. I love today's training. I like to go around the room and wrap up with, what was your biggest takeaway? What did you learn from today? And kind of what are you going to do with it? So I'll challenge you guys with something. So just insights, takeaways, and what are you going to do with it? Molly, you unmuted. You want to go first?
I don't use tasks very often, and I like the idea of being able to physically check off what I've been doing. So I'm going to do that more often.
Awesome. Personal, business, or both?
Both.
Both. Awesome. I love it. Let me know how you enjoy it. I got people who start it and they love it. And I have people who start it and they're like, yeah, I still like my pen and paper. So I'm interested to see if you enjoy it or not.
All right. I do pen and paper also.
This thing goes with me everywhere. It is like my baby.
Get this one.
Wait, oh, is it a bunny? That's awesome. Nancy, how about you? What was your insight, takeaway, and what are you going to do with it?
I think a few things. One of the biggest things for me was you gave me some insight on how to get out of that rabbit hole that I found myself in when it comes to writing and editing my book, and also focusing on my website, that I need to give myself designated time, because then I believe what you're saying, that then I can focus more and give this time slot the best of me, as opposed to being just a recurring energy drain, that it's just, okay, I got to get this done, and I think that I need to be more focused on putting time parameters around myself. So yeah, I like that a lot. And I also like what you said about boundaries. Well, you didn't say it that way, but I interpret it that way. And that is, me time, need to have some me time. So very insightful stuff. I'm glad I came on.
Awesome. I'm happy you were able to be here. And yeah, creating these boundaries, and you're right. It's a word I didn't use, but it's exactly what I was talking about. Yeah. Creating that boundary of when are you going to give yourself time and when are you not, and really making sure that you honor that boundary. I like to give the example of, you schedule a doctor's appointment, and if you don't show up, they're going to charge you think of your me time. If you don't show up to your me time, you're going to be charged.
Mm.
Like nobody wants to pay money for something they're not actually attending or doing. So whatever thing kind of triggers you to remind you that you have to take it and that it's important, like think that through. The doctors always gets me because I'm like, I'm showing up for that. I'm not paying the $70 and my copay is only 30 or whatever it is when you don't show up to the appointment.
Exactly. Yeah. One quick question.
Yeah.
This is my first time being with you. What are you having a follow-up on this, or is this like a one-time talk about what are you doing?
Awesome question. So this is my weekly call. So every Thursday at noon, I go live, just like we do in Jamie's group. Hers is Wednesday.
Yeah.
So this is my weekly call every Thursday at noon, and we switch up the topic. So sometimes we talk physical fitness, mental fitness, nutrition. Today we did a tool that helps with all of those. I will be, for anyone who wants accountability follow up, on next week, Monday through Thursday, depending on how I've heard from you. Oh no, Monday's the holiday. So next week, Thursday, by then, I'm going to check in with all of you and see how your action has been going, if you've implemented anything and how you like it. So I will be following up with you because this was a training I haven't done before. Honestly, like I didn't realize people were interested in Google Calendars till I got a lot of questions. It's like, okay, I love this. I get to teach this. So I am going to follow up with you guys to see how the last week of implementing some of the things we talked about has been going. So yes, I will follow up, and this is every single Thursday. And Shanti, you're in the group now, so you'll get the notification and the post of what's going to be talked about each week.
Oh, wonderful.
Perfect. Great question. Isabella, how about you? If you are able to talk, insight, takeaway, and what action are you doing?
Yeah, you're good. Sorry. Definitely takeaway is I'm going to be immediately after this going into my calendar and like playing around with it, trying to figure things out. I like what you said about trying to set aside personal time and really schedule it in there. So I think that's something I want to do a little bit more of this coming week too.
I love that. And if you have any plans for the longer holiday weekends, put those on your calendar, like things like that, or take the time knowing that Monday's probably not a work day. Take that Monday and add something in there for yourself.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I love it. Danielle, how about you?
So I like the idea, which I don't currently use, of the task. So I'm very much a to-do list person. So I think I'm going to try to start using that and see how that works for me on my calendar.
Awesome. Work, personal, or both?
Both.
Awesome. I love it. So like I mentioned just a few minutes ago, I will be checking in with all of you. I know some of you are in my group, some of you are not. I got you all through Messenger. So just be looking for a message from me within the next week to kind of see how some of this is going. I know Molly and Danielle, you guys said about the task. So I'm going to ask you, how's that going? Have you actually been implementing it? Isabella and Shanti, I'm going to be asking how that personal time has been. So I'm not just going to leave you on this call and be like, okay, go do your thing. No, I'm going to be checking in on you for homework. So make sure you do it. And do you guys have any other questions before we wrap up today?
I have one, doesn't relate to the calendar because it's a good idea to do weekly Zooms. Do you do it for your clients or who do you do it for?
Yeah, so my weekly Zoom, I have a free Facebook group, and anyone who's a potential client or really just anyone who wants to connect with me, I encourage them to check it out there. And it's for anybody who wants to expand their physical and mental fitness. So we talk about literally anything of, hey, I want to get better at eating more fruits and vegetables. We talk about these topics that some of you may already know, but it's also nice to have a group like this to come to and the reminders of them each week. So every single Thursday at noon, I go live right on Zoom. And there's always the replay in the Facebook group. If something comes up, I had a few people that are like, can I have the replay? The replay is always in there. And if you missed something in the talk that you wanted.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to start doing that.
Perfect. And I'll also send you guys the link so that you have the link to jump in. Actually, let me see if I can do that real quick here while we're on. You guys can just click it from. As long as everything moves at a normal speed on my laptop, we do really well. Okay, so I just dropped the link to my Facebook group. Feel free to click in there, jump in. You don't get a lot of notifications. I post on Wednesday to let you know what I'm talking about on Thursday, and then I go live Thursday. That's about all the posting I do in there. So it's not a group where you're gonna see me every single day post something. Thursdays are the main day with all the content. We're on anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, and it's just content, learning, applying in all areas of our life.
Wonderful.
I like it.
Good stuff.
Any other questions? No. Awesome. So I'll be checking in on all of you, any of you who are on Facebook. I see Cherry just jumped on. Hello, Cherry and Ashley. If you want to drop your takeaway and insight, that would be awesome. This chat lives on, so feel free, go through, chat more, drop questions as you think of them, and I will just keep responding. This chat literally, so Shanti, if you come up with another question in 5 minutes, drop it in the replay of this, and I will keep responding to them. It's a forever long chain.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Awesome. Well, you guys have a great rest of your Thursday, and hopefully I will see you next week. Bye, you guys.
All right.